keep the run going now then, I suppose. What's your focus?
Yeah, that's the plan. With a bit of luck, we'll try and give ourselves a good shot. You know, it's a pretty big job in front of us. I know there's a little bit of people subscribing to it. It's a great time to catch Leeds, but you know, I'm not too sure about that. I think we're going to play a team what, you know, on the back end of certainly a couple of fairly big defeats by their standards, and you know, they'll certainly wanting to you know, banish a few doubts and a few criticisms that are probably coming their way. I know they've got a lot of people involved in the weekends games, but they're there for a reason as well, and that's because they're really good players. So you know, I'm pretty sure they've handled situations where they've had to back up from representative football before, and I guess the drawback for them is that their preparation this week wouldn't be normal. You know, they've got a lot of guys in playing, whether it be for England exiles or within the Knights. So I guess the preparation would have been disrupted, and they're probably not going to know the makeup of the team until fairly late, I would suggest. But you know, they've got a big enough squad, enough quality, and certainly enough experience of people that have been in these situations before. So it's a big task for us, but nonetheless, it's great that we're going to Headingley on the back of 3 wins. You know, feeling okay about ourselves and the way we're going, and in there with a chance.
And certainly not a team to be written off, Leeds. Like you said, a lot of people are doing that already, aren't they? And saying, well, not the team they used to be.
Yeah, I think they did it last year, and they got to Wembley and they won the grand final. So I think that's a natural reaction when teams are underperforming. Most teams will go through that during the year, but it is probably very unfamiliar territory for Leeds, who I think up until last year had spent very little time outside the top 3, you know, for a number of seasons. So for them to be out of the playoffs at this stage is probably a little bit concerning for them. But at the same time, you know, there's a lot of football left to be played, and it is very tight. You know, when you look at the table, it all is very tight, and you know, a few good wins and certainly catapult them back up. But you know, we're concentrating on ourselves as well. I think that's something that's worked for us, and you know, we're looking at ourselves, and you know, we're in a decent run of form over the last sort of 4 or 5 weeks, and we're hoping to try and continue that and give ourselves a chance of obviously pulling off, you know, putting in a good performance and pulling off a win.
Because at Leeds in the cup, you solid in the first half, Richard. It was the old demons of not putting 80 minutes together, wasn't it? And it was
you know, we were okay. You know, we were okay. We scored a couple of nice tries and got ourselves in front on the scoreboard. You know, the scoreboard looked okay for us for a while there, but you know, we fell away. You know, maybe that was a period that we felt weren't great for our season. That sort of Easter time where we had, you know, a number of games thick and fast. I don't think our squad coped with that particular period of the season really well. With a couple of key players out injured. I certainly was struggling with injury, one out injured, and I thought the games that came, you know, in quick succession, you know, as I say, it wasn't a time in our season that we probably handled really well as a squad.
And what about the international games this weekend? Has that worked in your favour? You know, delaying it slightly, or does it make little difference to your preparations?
Oh, I think we would have rather have had this fixture when we were supposed to have it in round 4. You know, we felt, if I recall at that time, we felt that, you know, we were just getting into the groove. Then all of a sudden we had a week off, so we weren't particularly happy about it at the time. So I guess it'd be slightly contradictory. I mean, now to say that it's come at a bad time for us. But you know, we're fairly happy to be playing week on week. You know, we've had a decent turnaround for the game. So you know, we've no problems with it being put in at this point. It's probably more of a hindrance, you know, to Leeds than it is to us.
What about injuries first week, Richard? Have you Danny Kermond? How long do you expect him to be?
For probably about 3 weeks from initial diagnosis. So he's going to be missing again. That part we come through with a clean bill of health from last week. So I won't envisage too many changes to the 19 that we put out this week.
And what about preparations for the game in training? Have you just
pretty good. Pretty good. We we've had just a normal week's training. The boys have been sharp, and as you would expect, a fair amount of buoyancy after getting the performance and the win that we did at the weekend. So they've been very sharp, very intense, and in very good spirits and a good frame of mind. So it's been a good week's preparation. There's a couple more sessions to get under his belt yet. So touch wood, we can pull through them okay. Keep the 19. Probably keep the 19 that went into the game last weekend. Minus obviously Kerman, I forgot he were named in there. And we'll have a good look at Leeds, and we'll have a look at what the likely makeup of their squad is. I guess we're not going to know that till late, but I'm sure we'll get a good idea when they name the 19 and when we all watch the game on Saturday.
Have you sensed sort of more confidence in the squad, given the recent results? Have you sensed that being something that was perhaps missing before?
Well, it helps. I won't say it was drastically missing. I think it's quite natural if you don't have a win in 3 or 4 games, and your confidence does take a little bit of it. But I've probably been keen to stress throughout the year that I think our team spirit and our confidence going into games has generally been okay. Our team spirit has certainly been very good. I think his confidence has taken little dints here and there, but generally our preparation, the way we've trained, the commitment from the boys, the discipline within themselves has been very, very good. They've been a really good group to work with. Sometimes we've just come up against teams that have probably got a little bit more talent than us, and that talent, the gulf in that at times has shown. But I think very seldom this year could we be accused of not giving it our best shot and lacking spirit and commitment, because I think that'd be very tough to level our boys too much.